Hello and welcome back to the Avedama Select server. I am Karakangar, and this week we have something a little bit different. We're not going to be working on the base here. See, over the winter break I got to playing a little bit, but not a huge amount. And, well, I was working on building another tunnel for a future project, just doing preparation work. I ended up falling in lava and dying and losing all my stuff, and I really just messed up. It was all my fault. And then I was killing the wizard just because I felt like it was something to do, and I forgot that I was wearing my elytra and not my chest plate, but I wasn't fighting like it. And I went back and rewatched the video for it later, and I made all sorts of mistakes, so that was, again, just completely my fault. But when I got back there, all my stuff was gone. So over winter break, I lost my stuff twice and had to replace it. So, thanks to the lovely villager trader here, the actual replacing it part was a cinch. I mean, getting all the books back that I need is super easy. It just takes a little bit of time to trade up some emeralds, and I'm good to go. A lot of the diamond itself I get out of doing my end raids, so that doesn't really cost me anything. But what is a problem is experience farms. In the past, I've just used my brother's zombie farm here, and it's just a simple zombie farm with a spawner combined with the AFK fisher you can see off to the left there. And you can see it's just got the spawner up there and they fall in the water and that pushes them off down a cliff, which you get to by going down this ladder here. And this thing definitely has its uses, and I'll be taking advantage of it occasionally later on. But it's just slow. It takes forever to fully enchant up a suit of equipment. Alright, it's time that we go build ourselves a proper experience farm. And to do that, we're going to go to the end. Hello, what you're about to see is a time lapse that I created and I've been working on for the last 2 days. It's been terrible. And I'm going to do my best to do a voiceover on it, but because the file was so big, it's not playing quite right in my video editing software to replay it. So, forgive me if it's a little bit messed up. Alright, we find ourselves here at the end due to the magic of video editing. And the first thing I want to do is just verify that I'm going to be digging the right way to be going straight out into the void. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to be out away from the islands and any spawning spaces. So I'm going to go and make myself my own little place out in the middle of nowhere, where there's no other blocks around. And I also want this to be as low in the world as possible, and you'll see why up here in just a moment. So I'm swimming down a waterfall and placing blocks as I go while I'm looking up, and getting down to the bottom of the world that way. I ended up finding a better way of doing it later, and I did that to get all the way down to the very bottom of the world. And then I'm coming back and replacing it with ladders because they're a lot more easy and safer to get up and down than water streams are. And then next I'm going to build just a one wide walkway all the way out over 150 blocks away from the island. And this sets it up so that mobs will only spawn in the locations that I want them to. You can see on the bridge as I was walking back, because my editing's all messed up, that there were just so many Endermen there, and they're all there and packed in like that, because there's nowhere else for them to spawn, and because we're as low down in the world as possible, it maximizes the spawn rates. So those are the two real keys to why this farm is so insanely efficient. And then I came back and put a roof on the place, so that way their Endermen could not enter this area at all, and I would be perfectly safe. And you can see in this last scene that I was using lava and water to make cobblestone, and what I was doing is using that to get all the way down to the very bottom block that you can place anything in. And that was a trick that I saw in Ngembom's Ender Mini video, and that's what this farm is loosely based off of. Now I'm making an area that's going to be where the Endermen all collect up at, and where I actually kill them at. And originally I was going to follow Gumbomb's video and put them into just chests on the sides, which is also a very classic way of doing it. But I decided I didn't like that, and mostly because you have to like hang off the side of the farm over top of the void in order to actually collect up the pearls. And that's a huge pain. It's very dangerous. And I want this farm to be accessible to everyone on the server, including my kids, who would freak out at the idea of hanging out over the side of the void. And to be honest, I can't blame them. So, I went back and rebuilt it later on, and I'll show you what it looks like in the final edit, or the final tour of the place. What I'm doing right now is the stone is the actual spawning platform, and this is where the Endermen are going to spawn. It's just on that, I believe it's 11 wide and 5 or 7 deep area. And then they can't spawn on the leaf blocks, but because of the way that pack spawning works, where one Enderman spawns and then it spawns several more Endermen around them in a pack, the pack spawning will spawn on top of the leaf blocks. So this is really just maximizing my spawning space, or my spawning ability in the spawning space. And the reason why you don't want them to be able to spawn too far out is because of the method that we're going to use to bait them to come into the little area where we killed them at. And that works because we're going to put an endermite up there. And so I'll show you all that in just a minute. Right now I'm just building the stairwell where they're going to run up and then fall down in. My editing's getting way ahead of me here. Anyways, what's going on right now is I actually made an endermite, and then the enderman just went crazy for it and they were trying to kill it. And so I just had to quickly try to control the area so that they couldn't do anything to it anymore. And it totally failed. I ended up killing that first endermite, and I made a second one. And then later on I had to make a third one. And finally, while I was recording this video, my endermite disappears, so now I'm gonna have to go do this a fourth time. So here I am trying to get this place free of endermen and spawn proof so that they can't spawn here or teleport up here again. And my video is freezing on me again. Alright. This right here that I'm making is the actual area that they're going to be dropping into. And what they're going to do is run up that leaf stairwell that I made earlier, and there's going to be a trapdoor that's open. Mobs can't tell if trapdoors are open or closed, and they'll try to walk on them either way. So they'll just run right up that leaf and then try to walk onto the trapdoor, but it's open, so they just fall right in. And at the same time, the trapdoor combined with those daylight sensors makes me tall enough and the trapdoor just low enough that it blocks the eye line of the player, and mobs won't attack you unless they can actually see your eyes. So I can stand right up against those trapdoors and hit the enderman, and they won't be able to see me, so they won't attack me back. And that makes this farm really, really convenient. Alright, now I'm just filling in the sides so they can't escape. And of course that would be very inconvenient. I have to go pick up my son from the bus here shortly. Okay, now I'm trying to get a new endermite to spawn in. And I'm trying to raise the endermite up this time so it's a little bit higher up, and hopefully the enderman won't be able to attack it. Apparently it doesn't work, because I have to replace my current endermite again. The enderman somehow attacked it, and I raised it up a third time, or a second time, whatever it was, when I rebuilt this farm later. Okay, so here I'm pillaring up a little bit and making a platform where I can capture the endermite at. And what I'm going to do is try to capture it inside of a minecart. And so I'm going to put mine rails on that stone. That ended up not being nearly enough stone, and you'll see later on that I had a bunch of trouble with getting it captured. So here you can see I threw down a conduit, and what I'm going to do is stand on top of that and throw the pearls at the top of it, And the small size of the conduit means that when the endermite spawns, it's just going to fall right off the conduit, and I'll be able to keep standing up there safely. So he won't be able to attack me. I used the conduit because I didn't have anything better, but a fence or a cobblestone wall would work way better. So here you can see just a few of the ender pearls I threw. It ended up taking like 4 stacks to actually get this guy. And I had to constantly eat and wait in between. So you can see I got him game tag there, Enderbait the second. And yeah, I'm trying to get him into a minecart, but I'm just having no luck. It took several tries, and then I expanded the area that the minecart rail was on. Turns out that an endermite will not walk off of a block onto a minecart rail. So that made it very difficult to get him in. But it also made it so that I had a safe place that I could stand later on. Alright, and here I'm starting to work on figuring out how to get him into the cart. And as the time lapse keeps going, you'll see I'm going down and getting more rails and supplies. And I start breaking out everything and replacing it with minecart rails. So in the backstory of Minecraft, there's this idea that the Endermen get their fast travel, super speed, teleporting abilities by running through another dimension. And because they've been invading the Endermite dimension, they're at war with the Endermen and the Endermites. So the Endermen try to attack the Endermites on sight, and that's what's causing them to run up that leaf stairwell and fall into the pit where I kill them. And looks like the time map is up, so we will go back and do a tour of the final place. Well, the Ender is all complete now, and I want to take you through and give you a final tour of how it came out. So this is the main path that you teleport into when you first come into the end, and the minecart rail system taking you to the Ender is right here. And there's a nice little warning sign saying, "Do not exit the minecart during the ride." That's just a safety thing. So you just step on this pressure plate, and it pops up a minecart for you, and you hop in, and then it sends you speeding on your way. And you'll see that I took out the straight drop and made a minecart rail here, because I want this to be accessible to everybody who plays on the server, so that everyone has a solid experience farm to work with. But a lot of people are new or skittish, especially my kids, and they would freak out running down a one-wide hallway with the void on each side. And this way, there's just, you stay in the minecart and it takes you from one end to the other. There's no chance of falling to your death, nothing. I am going to take and make this a little bit more pretty later on, but for right now it's fully functional and safe, and that's the important things. So, first thing you'll notice is that I've expanded this quite a bit, but I've also gone back and rebuilt the entire thing out of wood with obsidian on the floors. And the reason why I did that is I was taking out my shulker boxes here and mounting them on the walls, and then I'd grab my efficiency 5 pickaxes and break them, and sometimes I'd break them and the stone block behind it. And I was concerned about how easy it was to break this whole place and, potentially fall through into the void. Or break through the wall and my shulker box falls through into the void. And depending on which shulker box that is, that could be extremely costly. So now pickaxes take a moment to chop through even with efficiency 5, and you're not likely to break it on accident. Plus, with the floors being obsidian, that'll take a minute to chop through too. Of course, it is entirely possible. Some spots are 1 block thick, but I tried to make it 2 block thick where I could. Anyways, so it takes more work to chop through the flooring. Hopefully it'll be safer overall. So to use it, you just walk up here and stand up close to the fence gates here. Never open these. And then just swing back and forth, aiming roughly for the back corners. And then the sweeping edge on the sword will just completely destroy the Enderman, and you can see how quickly they're dying here. You can also see if I go into F5 mode and do this, you can see how much the experience starts building up around me as I'm killing them. And I walked in here with 7 levels of experience, and I'm already approaching 20. So this thing is really working fast. But you can just see all the experience flying around me there, and if I just keep swinging, I will gain experience faster than I can actually absorb it. So this is a great experience farm. It'll give you as much experience as you can handle. All of the pearls are collected up, except for the ones that I pick up out of the air, by hoppers in the floor, and then those go into this water elevator right here, which goes up to the top and across here. And then the first thing it hits is an item sorter that pulls out all the heads from the head mod, and it sticks those into this chest here. There's a couple in this working their way through the system, but they're extremely rare. And then the pearls start filling up these chests, and they will always get filled up first and always be full. And then I can throw out shulkers on these 3 hoppers, and they'll automatically fill up the shulkers for me. And then after that, all the pearls start draining into these chests here. And this looks like 3 chests, but it's actually stacked chests. So there's 3 or 4 behind each one, so it's either 9 or 12 chests, I don't recall offhand. So there is just tons and tons of pearls here, and I can take as many as I want. I'll never run out. And so that I can clear out these chests when they overflow, I can just switch that lever right there on, and it automatically ejects them out into the void for me. So that saves me a lot of work of trying to do maintenance and upkeep on this place. I can just flip that on, go AFK for a little bit while I have lunch or something, and come back. Alright, and while I'm here and, killing these Endermen, I can just turn around and access the anvil right here and enchant something, combine a couple of items together, whatever I need to do. And then right over here I also have a full powered enchanting station. And I've got my ender chests and some spare anvils in there. And all in all, this place has turned out just absolutely amazing. It's works so well. So, there's one other thing that I absolutely love doing, and let me clear out some of these guys real quick, and I'll show you. Alright, that's good. Let's run over here. The experience balls have turned my screen into a slideshow. Now you just look at the Enderman, because there's no glass here, and they see that you're looking at them and just charge straight off into the void trying to get to you. And I just love doing this. I've left it here for over an hour before I will have gone and made dinner. It's great fun. So all in all, this farm has just turned out absolutely amazing, and this will be a terrific resource to continue enchanting and keeping myself fully equipped in the best weapons and armor that you can get. And yeah, I'm just super happy with the place. So, this is all I've got time for this week, and I want to thank you for watching. If you liked this video, leave a like down below. And until next time, have fun gaming. Bye.